It felt like a dream come true when my family won the lottery. I still remember the exact moment when the news hit, $100 million. My parents were speechless, and my siblings and I were in complete disbelief. What would we do with all this money? What doors would open for us? At first, it was all about celebrations. We went on a whirlwind shopping spree, bought new cars, and moved into a mansion that seemed more like a hotel than a home. The sense of freedom was intoxicating. No more worrying about bills, no more debts. Our every need could now be met with just a swipe of a card. It felt like we had unlocked the secret to happiness. But as time passed, the cracks in our perfect life started to show. The first shift was subtle. My parents, once the heart of our family, began to spend more time managing their investments and the vast sums of money. My mother, who had always been involved in the day-to-day running of our household, became consumed with making sure every penny was invested wisely. My father, previously easygoing and warm, turned into a man who measured success only in numbers and profits. Our home, once filled with laughter and shared moments, now echoed with silence. We rarely ate together anymore. Meals were no longer family gatherings but rushed moments in front of a screen or while on business calls. The magic of our simple life vanished. I found myself, too, drifting away. The bond once shared with my siblings, once so close, began to weaken. We no longer talked about our dreams or the little things that used to make us laugh. Our conversations were about how we could outdo one another in keeping up with our new, extravagant lifestyles. There were no longer family outings for fun. They were now about making an appearance at the latest event or gathering to show off our wealth. One of the most unexpected side effects of winning the lottery was the pressure to keep up the image. With new money came new expectations. Friends we hadn't heard from in years started popping up with requests. Some were looking for loans, others for investments, and a few just wanted to hang out to be associated with us. It was hard to tell who truly cared anymore. Our friendships became transactional. If I didn't lend money to someone, I felt guilty. If I didn't show up to a party, I was labeled a snob. The constant pressure to be seen as wealthy, successful, and always having it together took a toll on me. I began questioning myself.
Who was I now?
Was I still the person I had been before all this money? It was like I was trapped in a persona I didn't even recognize. As the months went by, jealousy started to seep in. Family members, distant relatives, and even close friends began to show sides of themselves I had never seen before. They became resentful, bitter, and competitive. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion about how we should spend our money, what we should do next, and how much we should give away. At first, we tried to keep the peace, but arguments started to break out over trivial things. Who should get what from the inheritance, who should be included in what decision, and why so-and-so wasn't invited to this or that event. The love and trust we once had for each other were overshadowed by greed, entitlement, and power struggles. The more we fought, the more isolated we became. My siblings, once my closest friends, turned against each other. What had once been a united front, with everyone supporting one another, now felt like a battlefield. There was no love left in the air, only the struggle for dominance. The worst part came when I realized that the things I once cherished didn't matter anymore. Family dinners, simple outings, and even the occasional movie night seemed insignificant when compared to the world we now inhabited. I couldn't even remember the last time we had sat together, genuinely enjoying each other's company without distractions. I started to see how all the luxury, the cars, the vacations, and the mansions were just distractions. They couldn't fill the emotional emptiness that had settled in. I had everything I thought I wanted, but I felt more lonely and detached than ever before. Eventually, I snapped. The pressure of being constantly in the public eye, the constant judgment, and the never-ending demands from friends, family, and even strangers broke me. I realized I had no idea who I was anymore. The person I had been before the lottery win, the person who found joy in simple things, in quiet moments with loved ones, felt like a distant memory. I broke down and confided in my sibling, who, surprisingly, shared my feelings. We both felt like we had lost ourselves in the process of accumulating all this wealth. It had changed our family dynamics so much that we couldn't even talk to each other without feeling resentful. My parents were too busy, too focused on preserving their newfound riches to notice what was happening to us. But it wasn't just the money. It was the way it had made us all lose sight of what truly mattered: love, connection, and the simple pleasures in life. We had sacrificed those things in exchange for something we thought would bring us happiness, but instead, it had stolen everything we valued. As the months turned into years, the family that had once been so close was nothing more than a distant memory. We still had the money, the houses, the cars, but we had lost each other. The lottery hadn't been the blessing we had imagined. It had torn us apart. Money can buy luxury, but it can't buy happiness, peace, or love. And as I stand here now, looking at the life we have created, I wish we had never won that lottery. The price we paid was too high, and no amount of wealth could ever make up for what we had lost.